Namaste, my name is Dhieyo and welcome to my channel. Today I'll tell you about this prayer which is made to our Lord. This Lord, this God now is the only God who is still there in this realm. This realm is where we are living in, where most of the gods have gone to the spirit world and they are there where they are. This God is still here for our for our support, for our help, to answer our prayers, to help us with our manifestation. This God's devotion is towards us. We all have a thing, right? Okay, somebody's thing is spirituality, somebody's passion is something else. This God's passion is devotion towards others. But I'll tell you a little more about this. But first, this prayer is called Hanuman Chalisa. It is made to the god Hanuman, who very infamously is known as the monkey god. Because they've shown images of him looking like a monkey with a tail, and obviously a lot of films and a lot of television series have shown him and his army as monkeys, but that's not true. I'll tell you a little more about it. So this prayer, when you say it, when you listen to it, will come in handy, real good handy to you. So now Hanuman, Lord Hanuman, or Hanumanji is as how we call him. To understand everything about him, you have to first understand that all our gods who were here on this planet, just like us, were in a human form. They were all extremely experienced souls who were in this human form. This is how they could manipulate this human form, which is a projector, into achieving whatever they could. So some had their expertise and some had different kind of expertise and powers that they could manipulate this body into doing what they want to do. Everything that we are and around us is atoms, made up of atoms. Billions of atoms is what this body is made up of. So now let's say if you want to change your body, let's say if I want to change my physique, I want to get much more bulkier and stronger. I go to the gym and I start lifting weights, and over a period of time with the right diet, I put on that muscle mass that I'm looking for. So what have I done? I've manipulated these billions of atoms into looking bigger. The first change happened here, and then eventually you start seeing it on your body. Same thing if you want to lose weight. So this is how we manipulate things. Now all our spiritual practices, our mudras and mantras, are all basically manipulating this entire projector into seeing what we want to see, into projecting what we wanted to project. So all our gods were doing the same thing. Some had different powers, like I said, some were great in something else. Lord Hanuman, his expertise were in playing around with these atoms. There's nobody else, no other soul in this form was greater than him. This is why a lot of people will say that he was very knowledgeable, he was very good with scriptures. Yes, he was, but his main knowledge was to play around with these billions of atoms, where he could become really big, he could become really small, which is called being invisible. He could become so light that he could fly. So there's no end to what you can do with this body when you can play around with these billions of atoms into making it do what you want to do. So Lord Hanuman was a devotee of Lord Ram. Now Lord Ram, when he was here on this planet, he was a reincarnation of Vishnu Bhagwan. Vishnu Bhagwan is the preserver of this planet. So at a time when he came here, he was born as a prince. His name was Lord Ram. Hanuman was his devotee. Hanuman is not only his devotee. Hanuman is a devotee towards anybody he sees is devoted towards something. Lord Hanuman, Lord Ram, was always devoted into doing the right thing. Even when his stepmother sent him for exile, he did the right thing. He smiled and he took his mother's instruction, saying that no matter what, she's my mother, I will listen to her. He did the right thing and he went into that exile. If he wouldn't have gone for that exile and faced all the challenges, he wouldn't have been the Ram Bhagwan that we know him today as. So Lord Ram was devoted towards doing the right thing, and this is what Lord Hanuman really admired about him, and he gave his entire life into being devoted towards him. So there was a stage where Ram Bhagwan, Lord Ram's wife, was kidnapped by another king. So Lord Ram, being Ram, a Lord himself, a God himself, who was a reincarnation of Vishnu Bhagwan, could not manage to go and find his wife, because like I said, when you're in a human form, you've got your limitations. Your soul has certain expertise. He had lots of other powers, but to go look for his wife, he told Hanuman to do it. Because he knew Hanuman could turn into a small atom and just go into that kingdom, see whether his wife is okay, and come back and get that information. When Ram Bhagwan, Lord Ram's brother Lakshman, was wounded in a battle, and when the medicine doctor told him that, okay, the only herb that you will get is in the Himalayas and I need it fast, the one who went really fast was Hanuman. He flew across to the Himalayas. When he went there, this plant is called Sanjeevani. This herb, it seems, when you go close to it, it hides because it wants the purest intention of the person that is going to be using this plant. Not anyone can come and use it. You can misuse this plant because it is a plant of life. It can bring a dead person to life. So you can imagine what it can do to somebody who's already alive. So when Hanuman was taking a lot of time, Hanumanji was taking a lot of time to look for this herb because Himalaya is a big place. He knew he's losing out on time. So what he did is he carried that whole mountain back to where Lord Ram and his brother and the doctor was, the medicine doctor was. So what did he do at that time? People think that, oh, it's just stories and it's not possible. No, it's possible. Like I said, he knew how to play around with those atoms. So he put that mountain on his hand and he placed it over there. Once the herb was taken, Lakshman, Lord Ram's brother, was fine. The witch doctor told him, it's important you take this mountain back. And he did that. He took that mountain back and he placed it back. So this was his power. Now, why is he called as the monkey god? Because just like how we are humans, at that time there were another being, like we are human beings, there were other beings who were much more bigger, much more stronger. They were like built really strong. Today, this is what our shoulder is. Their shoulder is nicely rounded, and there were no steroids at that time. They were naturally built that way. So they had a tail. So their army, usually the term we use over here is Vanar Sena, and people think Vanar means monkey. That's not true. Vanar is made out of two words, Van and Nar. Van means forest, jungle, and Nar means men. So the men who are staying in the jungle, the king of all those men were Hanuman. So because they were like all big build, let's say like how gorillas are. Now gorilla is a gorilla, you can't relate it to a human being, but a lot of people do relate it. When somebody's got a very strong featured face, they say, oh, it looks like a chimpanzee or looks like a gorilla. So that's the same thing that happened with them. They started calling them monkeys. But they were not monkeys, they were different beings who had a lot of intelligence, a lot of power, and they made good use of it. So this is how Hanuman ji had the power and he had all the knowledge to play around with atoms. So what happened was, when it came time for Ram Bhagwan, now his journey is ending, he needs to go back to the spirit world. So he told Hanuman that since devotion is your thing, coming with me is going to be no good. Your devotion is going to be not used over there. So I want you to stay back over here and be devoted to everyone who needs you. Every human being. A lot of people say it is only restricted to people who take Ram's name. No, our gods were not narcissistic. Ram Bhagwan's instruction were anyone who is in need, no matter who, as long as it's a life in that form, you help that person. So this is how he's the only god who stayed back. So a lot of people say, forget about calling out to Shiva and all the other gods and goddesses and anyone. Just pray to Hanumanji. He's around over here. He's truly around here because he's still devoted to us. And like I said, he's devoted to somebody he sees is devoted to somebody. So today, let's say if somebody is lazy, sitting there that, okay, Hanumanji, I'm praying to you and I want so much of money and all. No, he has to see you work for it. He wants to see you work for it, and then you pray to him, and then you see the magic that happens. I want to be really healthy and all. There you are drinking, doing drugs 24/7. Drinking, doing drugs is fine. It's your life. If you're doing it 24/7 and asking for good health from Hanuman, that's not going to happen. You're not devoted towards your health. You're not devoted towards a relationship that you're looking for. I want the best relationship in your mind. Like, yeah, then after that, I want one more and one more and one more and one more. No, that's not going to happen. He wants to see how devoted you will be. So that's how his powers really work for you. Devotion. So now this prayer, I'll tell you the story of this prayer because it's important. This prayer is called Hanuman Chalisa. Hanuman is named after the Lord Hanuman. Chalisa comes from the word chalis, which means 40. So the one who came up with this poem, he's a poet, a very well-known poet, and his name is Tulsi Das. So in the 16th century, there was an emperor, Akbar, called Akbar, who imprisoned Tulsi Das for a long period of time, so that because he did not bow down to him. He refused to bow down, so he was imprisoned inside. And in that prison is where he started writing these prayers to Hanumanji, asking to be rescued from this prison. So some say it took 40 days. This prayer is of 40 verse. So every day he would write one verse, and on the 40th day he was rescued. I'll tell you how he was rescued. But the other story goes like this: that after he wrote that prayer, for 40 days he sang those prayers. He kept saying that prayer for 40 days, and on the 40th day he was rescued. This rescue happened in that city that he was imprisoned, where that king, where the emperor was also there. There was an attack by monkeys. Now this was not by Hanuman's army, not those beings, but literally monkeys came and attacked that entire city. It became such a big problem that now somebody who was wise enough to know what is happening went to the emperor and said, "This is why your kingdom is in trouble, because Tulsi Das has prayed to Hanuman to come and rescue him. You want peace for yourself, you want peace for your kingdom, let him out from that prison. Let him go." This is when the emperor went and he apologized. He said sorry for what he's done, and he asked for forgiveness, and he asked him to tell Hanumanji to let the monkeys go and peace be for everyone. And that's exactly what he did, and that's what happened. He didn't only leave Tulsidas from the prison, he in fact left that area also. He left his kingdom, moved to another place. He was so moved by the strength of this prayer. So this prayer, like they say, can move mountains because he carried a mountain away. This prayer has the ability to make your problems this small and disappear, because that's his ability. But as long as you are devoted towards it. This prayer is called Hanuman Chalisa. Now, there is two versions of it. There is one which is a slow version of it, which I personally prefer, and I will pin it up in the comment section. And there is one which is a faster version. So this entire prayer right now, 40 verse, for me to explain each and every word will be an endless amount. This video is going to go like become a very long video, but the basic core of this is towards devotion, his devotions towards Lord Ram. So now I'll tell you another example. So here in India, women wear this red powder. It's called sindoor, right here on their forehead, in the middle of it. It's a way of saying firstly that they are married, and it's for their husbands to live a longer, healthier, prosperous life. So when Hanuman saw that on Sita's, Ram Bhagwan's wife's forehead, he said, "What is that?" And she explained it to him. It's for Ram's long life and health and prosperity. What he did was he went and covered his entire body with that sindoor, that red powder. So when people told him, "You don't need to do that, you just need a little bit," he said, "No, every woman is a goddess. I am not that great. I need to put it all over me." So this shows that somebody who's so powerful is still so humble. So these qualities will come inside you. These qualities, if they are there in you, great. If not, he will bring that qualities inside you. That no matter how rich and famous and however powerful you are, stay humble. So now again, the version that I listen to personally, I will pin it up in the comment section. You can listen to it. It's not a translated version. It doesn't have translation. And this time I wanted to be that version because this version truly has a lot of powers. I personally listen to it. My team listens to it. And I want to tell you something. The minute you start listening to it, be a little aware that you could start smiling. You could start laughing. You could burst into tears because all your traumas, all your blockages are now getting cleared with this tune, with this particular song that I pin up. It's going to be a YouTube link, so it's got nothing to do with me creating it or something else, or I'm getting something out of it. This is what I personally listen to. So listen to it in your own place, in your own space, at your own time, and see how you feel with this. Listen to a version which is another version which is much more faster. You'll find that on YouTube also. So see what suits you. The one that I am pinning up is what suits me. So I really want you guys to benefit from it also. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and until I see you again, have a good life. Namaste.